Growth, particularly in GDP, gross domestic product. However, we should use reliable data from sources like the IMF or World Bank to measure China's economy. This helps us understand the real size of China's economy. It is reckoned that China has overtaken the United States in GDP PPP, purchasing power parity, while others think its economy is slowing. To understand China's economy, we need to look at the data. GDP measures the total value of all finished goods and services produced in a country, including products like cars, food, and services like healthcare. The World Bank reports China's GDP as $17.7 trillion, making it the second largest economy in the world. However, China's GDP has not grown much since 2021. This is because the World Bank uses US dollars to measure GDP, and exchange rates can make China's GDP look smaller, even if its economy is growing. When we look at China's GDP in its own currency, yuan, it has grown every year. The exchange rate between the yuan and the dollar can make it appear like China's economy isn't growing, but in reality it is. Between 2000 and 2023, China's GDP growth has been higher than the US's, even with slower growth in recent years. Looking at GDP in constant 2015 US dollars helps eliminate currency changes and inflation. This gives a clearer picture of China's long-term growth. One interesting dataset from the Madison Project shows China's GDP from 1000 to 2022, showing that China's economy has often surpassed the US over time. Another way to measure China's economy is GDP PPP. In 2023, China's GDP PPP is over $34 trillion, much larger than the US's $27 trillion. GDP PPP considers how far money goes in each country. A dollar buys more in China than in the US, making China's economy seem larger when adjusted for cost of living. Another way to measure China's economy is GDP PPP. In 2023, China's GDP PPP is over $34 trillion, much larger than the US's $27 trillion. GDP PPP considers how far money goes in each country. A dollar buys more in China than in the US, making China's economy seem larger when adjusted for cost of living. Although China's total GDP is growing fast, its GDP per capita, income per person, is still behind the US. This is a way to measure the average wealth of people in a country. But in certain provinces in China, like Shanghai and Beijing, GDP per capita is much higher than in other areas, showing economic inequality. Energy consumption is another important measure of economic size. It reflects how much energy is used in industries, homes, and transportation. China's energy consumption is higher than the US, partly because it is the world's biggest manufacturing hub. China's exports also show the size of its economy. In 2023, China exported over $3.5 trillion worth of goods, more than the US's $3 trillion. This large export economy helps China hold the biggest foreign reserves in the world. So, just how big is China's economy? Well, it is indeed massive and significant. Enough to say that it holds significant sway in the entire world. And that's the latest on today's top stories. What are your thoughts? If you'd like to dive deeper into any of these topics or explore related issues, feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for tuning in and spending your time with us. Stay informed, stay curious, and we'll see you next time. Take care.